Can you actually sit like
Yeah,
in between?
Yeah, in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
I feel like that. Yeah, what's your first memory of like being attracted to music, playing music or listening to music?
I was really into jazz as a early teen,
Okay.
like 12. Yeah, I fell in love with jazz when I was 12,
Nice.
and that was kind of. I remember it was the nicest thing I've ever heard. You know,
Yeah.
I had like my mom had a Billie Holiday CD, like Billie Holiday Best of compilation,
Okay.
and we had these like racks
Yeah, yeah.
that are like these 5 CDs rotating, and I think I used to put my own music, you know,
Yeah.
but that day she was off, like I don't know, she was at work and I was home, and I just pressed play to see what's
Yeah.
up, you know, and I remember it started, and I instantly fell in love with like her voice,
Yeah, yeah.
and through that I just really got into jazz, and I still am. I don't play that kind of music,
Okay.
but it's still like a music that I go back to over and over again.
Yeah, it's good for like jazz is very playable when you're in so many different scenarios, but
Yeah.
especially when you're just like hanging out.
Yes.
And I feel like most of the time we're like hanging out or need that background music that just adds like the good texture and feeling to life.
Yeah, jazz is a really good background music, but it's also for me non-background music.
True.
Like I'll listen
'Cause you
to
can
it.
you can really focus to
For
the
me, it's like a music that I keep going back to when I'm on my own,
yeah,
at home or on tour.
yeah,
This is often the music I play when I'm getting ready for a show, like doing my makeup, having a drink
Yeah,
on
yeah.
my own. It's
hell yeah.
also with people. It's really good, but I also love to just listen to it on my own.
Nice. What was your process of like getting into music and like actually making music?
I started playing in bands when I was 18,
Okay.
but not really seriously.
Yeah.
I was in Cégep actually,
Okay.
studying theater. I wanted to become an actress.
Nice.
But by the time I turned 19, I got involved with music seriously.
Yeah.
My first band was called Loli Morin with a woman who used to live in Montreal
Okay.
called Sarah Dion, who also
Yeah.
makes synth music. And when I started this duo with her, my music playing became the main thing in my life, and I
Yeah.
just dropped out of school, and I was like, let's see.
Yeah.
And I thought I would go back to school at some point, and
Yeah.
here I am, still in school,
It's
still
always
playing,
been
still
cool.
playing music. Yeah. I guess making music was my school.
Yeah. I
School
mean, it's
life.
like I went to school for engineering for like 2.5
that's cool.
years, and then I was like, yo, if I'm doing this for the rest of my life, I'm probably gonna be depressed.
Yeah.
So I should probably just do something I'm at least interested in. So like around the time I was like considering dropping out, I got my mom's friend's sewing machine and just started like making stuff. And when you're able to like make stuff because you like actually want to make stuff, then the learning doesn't feel like learning.
Exactly. It was the same for me with music. I just was.
You're like obsessed. You're like, let's
I
fucking do
wanted to
this.
play every day. I was the annoying person bugging everyone to like
Yeah.
play all the time. I was not good at it. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
liked it.
Yeah.
And by playing and playing and playing in different bands and projects and groups of people and duos and trios and stuff, I eventually found my own voice.
Yeah, yeah. How was that process of like, you know, making a lot of things with different people, and when did you start to feel like you had like your sound?
In 2012, I started making solo music. I started in 2011, but it was not that cohesive.
Yeah.
I was just fooling around.
Mhm.
And when I started working with sequencers,
Yeah.
I really had a breakthrough, and
Okay.
I understood that I could actually make music on my own.
Yeah.
Because I was always relying on bands
Yeah.
to bandmates, to make music.
For sure.
I'm not like a good like one woman person. I don't
Yeah.
have that kind of skills. And yeah, when I found out about programming and I realized that you can program
Yeah.
music and then kind of like let it play on its own and just
Yeah.
work with your sequences, I feel like my life started.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
how did that feel when you first like unlocked that and you're like,
I screamed. I remember it was not even MIDI yet. Like it was not like the MIDI stuff like this sampler. It was CV. It was through a CV gate.
yeah.
It was just one drum machine synchronized with chord monotrack, which also had a sequencer like a synth in.
Yeah.
And I remember when I pressed play and I understood, people had told me before, but you have to hear it again, like I was saying earlier. You have to hear it to understand it.
Yeah.
And I pressed play and I realized that the drums, my drum programming and my sequence on the synth were playing like as one.
Yeah.
I was like, I screamed. I remember I screamed. I screamed literally. And then I started laughing. I still remember where, when, how, what was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where were you?
At La Brique.
Was-
On like a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, because there was not many people. I remember I was alone
Mhm.
in a small like jam space.
Yeah.
All my little pieces of gear on a school table, like
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
desk,
Yeah.
that was lying around. And yeah, I did the, okay, someone told me to connect my machine.
Yeah.
So I was like, in, like CV, this cable, in, out, in the in, let's see what happens, and I pressed play and I was like, wow.
Press play. Yeah. I feel like even with that, it's just bringing that like essence of like play and
Yeah.
willing to fuck around sometimes that can unlock something.
Mm-hmm.
So
Of
like,
course, yeah, you have to fuck around to find out.
find out.
Yeah.
That's awesome. When do you feel like your like truest, freest, most like authentic self? Big question, but
Probably when I play music.
Mhm.
Yeah, when I perform, for me, for what I do with the vocals and the mic and addressing the crowd,
yeah,
I can't not be I cannot not be, I can't
yeah, you can't
not be
feel-
myself. It wouldn't work. Like I wouldn't even be able to do what I do.
Yeah,
So I guess when I'm on stage, not like in an interview like this
Yeah,
or like
yeah,
at
yeah,
the
yeah.
party after or before, like of course
When
I
you,
have
like,
a
actually-
persona, but when I'm performing, I'm really truly myself.
Mhm.
That woman who goes on stage is not like an act. Of
Yeah.
course I work on my show.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
work on,
but you get it to the point where it is just like you let go and let
it's
shit
transcending, yeah, it's just the sound, the music, the words, and really trying to get it through the crowd
flow. Yeah, yeah.
and push it as far as possible. I try that the energy reaches the back of the room, or if it's outside, like in a festival,
Yeah,
the really, like the end of the crowd.
yeah, yeah. And what does that feel like to you? Like, how does performing? How does it feel? How does it
That's a
feel?
good question. I don't know. It's very exciting. It's a thrill. It's a fucking high. Sometimes it's harder when you feel like the energy is not
Yeah.
really flowing, and then I try to push it
Yeah,
and make it happen. So it feels like work.
yeah,
It does feel like gymnastics. But if it happens, if you manage to
Yeah.
break through and get to, then it's very rewarding.
yeah,
And the small amount of shows that it doesn't happen for
yeah.
various
whatever.
reasons. And you just have to take it in and still I still try to focus on my relationship to
Yeah,
the sounds and what's going on and
yeah,
just do it for me.
Yeah.
and like get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out.
Distribute, but I need to go.
Okay, cool.
Before going,
Do you want to take a picture? Yeah.
I'll send you the transfer. Like,
Yeah, no rush.
Perfect.
So mostly done. Maybe a few more questions.
It's a good question, actually. You should do like music journalism.
I mean,
But
that's,
you know why do you ask us? Because you're an artist also.
yeah, it's like I wanna know these things. I wanna make like a sub channel for the brand that's more like an artist
Yeah,
podcast
thoughts and
to show like
ideas.
there's so many different ways to create, and just like getting people out of like kind of a trapped mindset or like survival mode, and like they're doing what they're doing to survive, and like
Bye, enchanté,
Ciao.
enchanté, à la prochaine.
bringing that like excitement to life, because I feel like we're all here on earth to like express ourselves fully, but some people never get to experience that because they don't
I
believe.
agree to that. I think the same. For me, like being a creative is not like being an elite or whatever.
No, it's like this
Everyone's
is what,
creative.
this
It's
is
just some
what-
people don't have the chance to let it all out
yeah,
for various reasons.
yeah.
But yeah,
And
I do believe everyone's creative.
everyone is creative and in different ways, and you know, somebody's like genius might be like they're just like the best mom ever, or they're mad organized.
Absolutely, yeah. Being creative is not just having like one art form.
No,
It can be like you're the best, I don't know, cook, or
yeah,
you're the best person to welcome people in your home, and like your creativity express itself through like hosting or whatever.
for real. That's real for sure. And I feel like for me at least, and things I've read, it's just like when you're able to just like tap into that childhood like spirit of play,
Yeah.
where you're like, you can't be prejudging yourself. You have to like, this is on, and then you're just like letting shit flow, and you don't give a shit if you fuck up, because often when you fuck up, that's when there's a little bit of magic, and you're like,
I
you
know,
listen back,
I
you're like,
agree.
I did not mean to do that, but that's hard as fuck.
Yeah. I believe a lot in trial and error.
Yeah,
That's how I work.
same.
I try things. It's really rare that from take one I'm like, yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
It happens, but very rarely.
Mm.
For me, there's a lot of trial and error, and like you say, messing around and fucking up, and eventually coming on to something.
Yeah.
And you know it. It's like the thing you asked me about what happened when I synced
Yeah.
the machines and I screamed and I
Yeah.
started laughing. I do have it with music now,
Yeah.
even if it's not like, ooh, I connected but when I'm working at some point, I'm like, something happens, I tweak something, or I write some line, I program a line of something, a
Yeah.
drums or a bass line, and I still do the same, I start screaming.
I mean, it's like, it's good to let that out, and I feel like when you're more excited about something, that's when it's the easiest to work at it, and it's, you know, people living lives doing a job a 9 to 5 that they don't like, it's like, yeah, you don't like it because you're not excited about it, so like try to find something in life that you're excited about, and then the energy will just, you'll enjoy life.
I agree, yeah.
But it's, yeah, I really want to like give people the courage to like follow their dreams by showing that the process is imperfect, and you will fail, but the failure is just like super dense learning experience for
You would
changing.
be a good teacher or a good like coach.
I really want to be a dad, like
Maybe that's your calling. That's your next.
one of them. I'm not gonna be a dad yet. That's a lot of work.
You can be the dad of your brand.
I am a brand dad,
You are.
and I have